All right, guys, welcome back to a quick market review with Trader Mayne, Bitcoin Trade Group. Just wanted to quickly cover some things on the charts. I did make a post today that got quite a lot of interaction, discussion going, and just kind of talk about, kind of what I think going into the weekend here and going into the month end as well. I'm going to be out of town this weekend. I fly into Arizona tomorrow. I'm going to the Waste Management Open golf tournament, big party thing. Haven't drank in a month, so should be interesting. But very excited. So if any of you live in Arizona near Scottsdale, hit me up. But otherwise, I just want to kind of talk about the charts real quick because I won't be here for the weekend, which is on Sunday, and for the month end. So this weekly candle closing on Sunday is Thursday, 9:30 p.m. where I am, or the month end, which is tomorrow. So speaking of the month end, which is tomorrow, what do I want to focus on? Here is our monthly FTA right here. Okay, so my bull bear bias based on the monthly chart is going to be relative to where we close through this candle. I think if we close the monthly through the top, which is 91.53.50, I think that's bullish. And that's going to be the most bullish monthly candle we've had. I mean, just look at the thing in the entirety of the last 5 months. And I've been talking about this for a month now. I have a post on here. I don't know what's happened to my Twitter interactions of late. It's gone down the shitter. But I've been talking about the bottom being in for a while. I'm not really sure. Something has changed. I was getting, I used to get like a couple hundred likes a post. Now I'm lucky if I get 100, and I know this sounds stupid and egotistical, but whatever. It's just confusing to me, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because I've been bullish and a lot of people have been shorting. I have no fucking clue what it means, but just something of note. So I've been pretty, confident that this is the bottom here for all of these fucking reasons. So, gone over this in my YouTube streams publicly and my videos for you guys. And just looking at the monthly, this is backing up my thesis for sure. I think this area here is a microcosm of this. This is the most bullish PA we've had in this entire downtrend. The bullish engulfing we had, the swing failure pattern, all that shit I've talked about here. We're $2,500 above here, 45% above from when I posted this initially. So, I personally think the bottom is in, but my post today had a lot of interaction from guys who I love. There's never any beef with these guys. Cred, Don, these are the homies. We're good friends. So it's all positive conversation, varying viewpoints. Don and Cred have both been killing the analysis on the way up, and I know the way that Don trades is very high time frame. He's very systematic in his approach. And he is going to wait and see where this weekly candle closes, this monthly candle closes before assuming that it's going to close through. So for me on the monthly, right, if we're closing above 91.53, I think that's bullish. So tomorrow, if we close the monthly candle tomorrow above 91.53, I think that's bullish for sure. Of course, we could retrace. You got to remember this monthly candle is just what? On the daily, this is just a range, right? Remember that range I talked about when we broke out here? I talked about a new reaccumulation range, and I was using the 3-day chart, right? I was using this level and this level. Well, look how basically this is the exact same thing, right? So, I mean, we could close the monthly candle above 91.53, but then we could break back into this range. This is still a relevant price range. We could come all the way back to here, to 8,800, back into this kind of order block. We could then see continuation. We could range here. A lot of things can happen. But I think generally, if the monthly is closing above this order block, that's bullish. I think if we close within the order block, there's a higher probability that we end up ranging here for sure and potentially trading lower. And if for some reason we have a flash crazy dump of $1,000+ tomorrow or overnight tonight and we close below, I think that's extremely bearish. Like if I were to wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden this is a big gnarly wick, I don't think that's going to happen. But so that's the monthly. Above 91.53 I think is bullish. Within these two levels, I think good chance we range. Maybe we dip below, right? Maybe we see a dip back into here. Maybe we just range here, but yet to be seen. I mean, this is a nice wick on the daily. I think a lot of people are shorting this. A lot of bears, same people, go on Twitter shorting. They've been shorting since 7,900. Trust me, I know. That was the point I made here. Shorting dips in an uptrend is low probability, because what was I doing here? I was longing dips in a downtrend, right? I got a couple right. I didn't get as wrecked as some people think, but the bottom line is this. People are saying, I think the way the argument started is that, they're like, oh, well, Mayne, it's not a higher high on the weekly yet. The weekly candle's not closed. It's like, okay, well, that's my thoughts on the monthly. Now talking on the weekly, here's the level that matters. Because if you look in this entire downtrend, right? So there's a couple ways to look at this. You can look at it this way, right? Hasn't closed through there. What happened here? Never closed through there. Look what happened here, right? I mean, we closed through there, but just barely. So, but we've rejected, right, from here, right? So there is a chance, my kind of idea was like, well, what if we see a spike up here and then down, right? Close back below this high. That's kind of my thesis for a short, because what I'm saying is we're closing a higher high on the monthly. This low is rock solid if we can close through here, right? That's going to look way better and a way better chance at this being the bottom. A lot of people are going to FOMO. So my thoughts are, well, what if we see a move up above here, right, in the form of a wick, and then some sort of closing below here, right? That would fuck a lot of people. And then, a higher low, whatever. Regardless, even if we close above here, I think I'm going to short here just because the rejection here, I don't think we just nuke this level. I'm going to look to short here potentially. That was kind of my whole point. But if we close the weekly above 95.56, that's a higher high on the weekly. But what I was talking about was market structure, right? Market structure is relative to time frame. When we broke out of this range here, I got bullish because we just made a higher high on the daily, right? I was getting bullish down here when we started making higher highs on the H4, right? Market structure shifts on the lower time frame first. So here we are on the daily chart, right? And remember, we had people shorting this entire way up, being like, okay, well, it's got to break 7,900, right? And then it was like, well, now it has to break 8,500. But here it is on the low time frame. We're making a starting bullish market structure, making higher highs on the low time frame, and this entire month has been an uptrend. Yet we've still yet to make a higher high on the weekly. So it just shows you that if the weekly market structure is shifting bullish, it takes a lot longer, right? So if you want to get in the move earlier, if you want to participate, and you think the dynamics of the market are changing from a bear trend to accumulation to a bull trend, which is what I thought it was, you have to get in on the lower time frame on market structure shifts there. Donald's strategy, at least my understanding of it, is based a lot on the high time frame, right? So he's been longing this the entire way, but now he's going to wait and see if we close through here, which is perfectly fine. But I'm of the mindset that I think everyone who's been shorting, trying to short every fucking level on the way up here, they're fighting this trend, because what we had here, right? Yes, market structure shifts on the low time frame first. So we could have rejected at any of these levels. So, I mean, I guess there's logical shorts here, but this was a high time frame accumulation pattern with that monthly swing failure pattern, that weekly into the 3-month order block, the quarterly OB, and that big bullish engulfing. I'm like, this is high time frame bullish price action, and now you're trying to short it on the low time frame. You're fighting the trend. That's what I mean by lower probability. So even if this retraces here, I mean, look, it's wicked right into that level. Even if this retraces here, right, it's all going to depend on a few things, right? If the weekly closes below here, I think that I mean, obviously we haven't made a higher high. I'm going to look for a higher low potentially to form, and then look to get long wherever that forms, right? And then when we close through here, that will be confirmation on the weekly that we have a trend change, because we'll have a low, a high, a higher low, and then when we close through here, it'd be officially a higher high. That would denote a change in market structure on the weekly officially. In my opinion, right, and it looks like we did peak through here. What's the high here? 95.79. So we did peak through the wick here. I think if we have any sort of price action above here and then closing below, you could hop in a short. And the reason why I said here is an area I'd look to short is because I think people have been shorting this based on the low time frame, fighting the higher time frame price action, when the high time frame short has been up here in this area, not any of these moves on the way up. That's all I was trying to say. So monthly, I gave you my thoughts. Weekly, I want to see where we close relative to here. I mean, if we close through here on the weekly, I think that's bullish. But in my opinion, on the weekly, as long as we're closing the weekly above like 8,700, right, which would be here, right? You could also see how this level, the nice confluence there. 8,700 though, I think we're fine. So I think any sort of dip, if we pull back here, right, close the weekly somewhere in here, I'm still fine with this, right? This move could come way deep, right? You got to remember that this move can pull back quite deep before continuation. And this is something I talked about in videos in the past with you guys, but also in a YouTube stream that I did, right? Is we could have like a big head and shoulders forming right here, something like that. So waiting to see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen yet, but you know, I'm not going to be here for the weekend. I'm not going to be trading because I'm most likely going to be hammered off shitty beer. But you know, we've caught a ton of fucking awesome longs the entire way up, trading with the trend. So when people are like, oh, you know, I had some people DM me like, oh, Donald's going to say, dude, Donald's been bullish this entire time. I've been bullish this entire time. It is what it is, right? So let's see what happens with the monthly and the weekly close, and then start making some decisions. I mean, if you're trading on the low time frame and you've been taking shorts, you're fighting the trend. If you're trading on the high time frame, the time to take shorts is as close to invalidation, which would be breaking of this higher high, right, as possible, as opposed to shorting here. You know, that's why you know, Don Alt was not shorting here. He's looking to hedge or get short or take profit near weekly resistance. So that's just my thoughts. Thought I'd clear that up with everyone. So I'm not going to be here this weekend. So you'll be in good hands, but you know, hit me up on Discord if you have any questions. But just wanted to get you guys a quick little snippet, quick little video of my thoughts. I will do kind of an update with charts when I see the weekly close and kind of give you my thoughts. But you know, there's your level of interest. You want to mark one line on the chart. There it is right there. Let's see where we close relative to this. If we close below here, what I would say is, and this is kind of my thoughts, if we close below here, right, any sort of trading above this high next week is where you want to look to short, in my opinion, if you were going to get in a short. If we close through here, shorting this area is less attractive to me. So let's wait and see. I'm not going to rush into any trades. I'm going to wait until the monthly, since the monthly and the weekly are closing within, you know, a couple days of each other. I'm just going to wait and see and then make a decision, as opposed to trying to, you know, rush into something that could be, you know, a turning point in the market. I'm not trying to guess. I'm going to let the market tell me what to do. You know, as I've been talking about, you know, kind of ad nauseum in the Discord, is, you know, what has changed between, you know, kind of the losses I had for a couple months here versus, you know, me being on, you know, a hot streak trading wise, is I've been getting back to just focusing on the high time frame, not mucking around on the hourly or any of that kind of BS, focusing on the high time frame. So let's see what happens. I mean, this move is quite extended. I am still of the mindset that a lot of people are not long. I think a lot of people have been shorting this entire move. I think a lot of people are thinking that the bottom is not in. We're going to make a lower low, and this is just going to be a lower high. And again, for the reasons I've talked about so many times, it's making me sick. Go through this thread, go through our Discord, go watch those videos I've done, go watch that YouTube I did. I think this was at least a midterm bottom that's going to lead us higher than here. I do think we'll see a move into the 5-digit BTC region into 10K, and then maybe a dump back down below 9K. You know, I think we could come all the way down into the 7s again and still remain bullish, right? Again, Bitcoin loves those big retracements when it's trending, and that of 62% retracement takes us to 7,600. Right, your 79% retracement is right about, you know, $100 below the yearly open. how many times has Bitcoin come back, in the bear trend right into that area? And where does everyone get the most bullish every time? Go back on Twitter to July 2018. When was everyone the most bullish? Some people, the smart people at 6K, but the masses were here. Oh, we're going to 10K, right? Go look on Twitter. Same shit here, right? People buying the 6K floor, GG, good job, right? But where was everyone getting fucking euphoric that we were going to 10K again? Right when we were at this crate, because you're like, oh, it's moved so far, it's got to keep going, and that's when it dumps, right? So it would be hilarious, and it kind of makes sense, right? That, and it's no different here, right? This, oh, it's gonna make a higher high, and then it eats the dick, right? Same thing here. I don't know which high you want to pick here. I mean, this one spiked through. But again, where are all these candles coming into? Right into this area. We're like, oh, this was me. Oh, the bottom is in. And then it fucking ate shit. So, I mean, again, look at this spike now. I mean, we could use this wick if you want. We could also use these bodies. But, if you want to use this wick, because we're doing wick to wick here, we're right in that area. So if this thing is going to turn around, it could turn around from here. So, I mean, I could be looking pretty foolish if it goes like this. I mean, I'll look foolish online. At the end of the day, I've been taking trades, making money. So who really gives a fuck? I care as long as the market is moving either direction and I'm trading and winning. I don't care. End of the day, I own Bitcoin. I want Bitcoin to go up. Naturally, there's been tons of arguments on Twitter. You can make more money longing than you can shorting. So it's just, a short, it can only go down 100% in a short, right? The direction it can go up is infinite. I mean, obviously not infinite. Well, I mean, technically infinite, but I'm not saying it's going to 300,000, who fucking knows, but there's more upside, right? Whereas a short can only go down so much. And if you're owning Bitcoin, you're trading on BitMEX, you're getting paid in Bitcoin, it's better to be long, right? Bitcoin is a great asset to long. And don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Again, you look at except for here, don't long Bitcoin here again. Holy shit. Imagine if you woke up, I just saw this. Imagine you fucking wake up and this is the first thing you see. Oh my God. But yeah. So let's see what happens. It's all love with me and Don, me and Cred, all those people. It's just great to have some fucking interaction on Twitter and people with, different views, conversating and explaining their reasonings. So let's wait and see where this closes. At the end of the day, we can all argue back and forth about what's going on. The market's going to tell us sooner than later. So overall, I'm still leaning bullish wherever we close the weekly. I just explained what my kind of thought process is, but where this dip happens, because this will dip eventually, who knows? Are we going to see something like this? Everyone was waiting for a big dip here, and we got are these little ones, and no one seemed to buy them, right? What if we just, come down and then go again? So you got to be aware, but this could kind of, be something that we're seeing here. I'm not saying for sure, but this, my kind of line in the sand is that I think this is the bottom. If I'm wrong, I'm fucking wrong. Who cares? I'll try and long lower. So yeah, let's see what happens. I will be back with kind of a longer form video for you guys next week. Hopefully I survive this weekend. Knock on wood. I'm going to survive, but not having drank for a month is a long time. So I'm probably going to get pretty drunk pretty quick. If you got any questions, hit me up in the Discord. And yeah, talk to you guys soon. Have a great weekend. Be safe out there. Have fun. If you're in Scottsdale, Arizona, hit me up. Let's get some beers and watch some golf. All right. Talk to you soon.